Alright, back with part 3. So, in the previous video, we debunked a couple of the excuses made. We debunked the costume, the water bottle being drugged, Mark Breland being paid off to, being paid to stop the fight early, and the illegal tactics used by Tyson Fury. All those have been debunked. So this last video, I'm gonna end with the very recent excuse, and that is the Glovegate situation. So a lot of people felt that Tyson Fury was cheating by taking padding out of his gloves and using that to do more damage to Deontay Wilder, because he's basically hitting Deontay Wilder with his knuckles, So, and people were looking at this. People were doing, they were going on, they were looking at the fight on YouTube or whatever, and they would go, towards these time codes and they would stop the fight in like a split second, or slow the fight down to to a moment or a time code where, to the perfect moment where there's like a small depression in Tyson Fury's gloves, or a small wrinkle in Tyson Fury's glove, to make it look like there's no padding in it, Alright, let's discuss this. So, I'm going to basically explain or summarize the process of the whole, how fighters get their gloves wrapped in a fight. So, once a fighter goes to the fight, the arena, they go to the locker room, they have their gloves wrapped and put on, and as they're doing that, they have a camera that is filming them, right? And there's multiple people in the room. They film them getting their gloves wrapped, as well as there is a coach from the other team who goes into the locker room to see if anything's happening, if the gloves are being tampered with, all that stuff. So in this case, Wilder's coach would have gone to Fury's locker room to see if anything, happened. So after that, when the fighters get their gloves put on, the fighters go to the ring and they fight, right? After they fight, they go back to the locker room and they have their gloves inspected again to see if anything's wrong with them, as well as they hand their gloves into the commission to inspect, and the commission inspects their gloves, to see if there's any padding taking out, if they took padding out of the gloves. Nothing happened, right? No one's come back with anything on that, right? The WBC, the commission, all of that, no one's come back with any evidence that Fury took padding out of his gloves, right? And, you tell these Wilder fans this, the ones that are making excuses, and their rebuttal, or the response to that argument is, oh, but, these things happen, look at the footage, it's there, it's, look, you see a hole in Fury's glove, all that stuff. Guys, we live in 2020, right? We're not living in 1965 where this is easy to, get away with, right? We live in 2020 where there's video footage of these fighters getting their hands wrapped and getting their gloves, put on, right? We're not living in the past where that was easy to get rid of. Yeah, there's been instances in the past where, fighters have died because of that, or gotten seriously damaged, and, fighters get away with doing that. But, that's the past, all right? We're living in 2020 where we have video footage, right? So, yeah, Wilder, all these fans are basically talking about this, but Wilder hasn't complained one bit about that. The sport of boxing is just full of clowns and just fanboys, and it's just, to be honest with you, it's making me hate this sport, because, once you get new people coming into from the sport, because boxing isn't that popular It's not the most popular sport. I mean, if you compare it to something like hockey, soccer, football, all that stuff, it's or even baseball, it's not as popular. And if you get new fans coming in, you get all these fans looking at these LDBC people, and they're just gonna say, oh, what the hell are these guys doing? They're just acting like idiots, and it just draws attention away from the sport of boxing, and it's really giving boxing a bad name, it really is just annoying. I mean, you got all these fans who used to be Anthony Joshua fans back in 2018, and as soon as Wilder knocks down Tyson Fury in the first fight, they start going against him, and the Fury fans who used to be Joshua fans start becoming fans of Fury just because he beat Wilder, and they start calling AJ a bum. Guys, it took Tyson Fury 10 rounds to force a, not even that great of a stoppage on Derek Chisora, right? A guy who's much shorter than him, right? And it took him 12 rounds to beat an unmotivated Vladimir Klitschko, right? And Klitschko's already been knocked out before, and in that fight, it wasn't even that good of a fight. And if you go back and watch that fight, and if you're honest, you can see in the 12th round, Klitschko was winning that fight, right? I mean, guys, it took Deontay Wilder 9 rounds to knock out Eric Molina. Yeah, Eric Molina, the same guy who's already been knocked out by Chris Arreola, right? And some other dude, in the early rounds, right? When Wilder fought him, he got rocked by him, and Wilder went to war with him until, he got the knockout. While, Anthony Joshua, he went through Eric Molina like he was a pile of feathers on 3 rounds. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I don't have hate. I don't have any hate towards people who are just fans of these fighters. If you're just a fan of these fighters, you don't make excuses. I have no problem with that, right? If you're making excuses, though, I'm calling you out on this. All right, stop making excuses. Make progress. That's all I'm gonna say, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of done with this issue, talking about this issue. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm probably gonna make a Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell prediction, so stay tuned for that fight or that video. Sorry. And yeah, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys, if you learned anything from this, don't make excuses. just accept the loss, and yeah. So hope you guys have a good day. Take care.